Are you looking for acapellas to DJ with? Then don't worry, I'm going to show you how and where to get acapellas for DJing and mixing. Hi, I'm Dan from Beatmatch Guru. Let's dive right in. Okay, starting with number one. AI separation is one of the new technologies, well, it might have been around for a while now, but it has seemingly getting a bit better. And there's a new website out, and it's called lalau.ai. I'll put the link in the description. But what it does is simply you upload a track that you like, and it uses its algorithm and then separates the vocals from the track. So it does this by like dampening down the sounds through its algorithm, and at the end of it, it then spits out the vocal track for the whole track that you've uploaded, say for example a Calvin Harris track. And it's really interesting to me because this is something I thought of like about 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, and I thought, why has this not come about and how do you do this? And that's when I started looking into separating acapellas back in the day, but it was slightly different then, which I'll go into the next point. So the next point is, number two, is manual separation. And what that means is that you need Audacity or Ableton, for example, which is a music production software. And what you need is two tracks. So you need track one is the full actual song with the instrumental and the vocals, all the finished song. And then the second track is just purely the instrumental on its own without the vocals. Now what you do is you load both tracks on Ableton or Audacity, and what you have to do is line up the audio of both of the tracks side by side exactly in time. And then what you can do is you invert the sound of the instrumental track, which counteracts the instrumental of the actual main track. So for example, 1 plus minus 1 equals 0, and then what you're left with is just the vocals. So that is one of the better ways of doing it. But where that can go wrong, just an FYI, if the instrumental is sometimes mixed down differently to the actual real track that's playing out on the radio, it sometimes doesn't work as well, and it might sound like a bit dodgy like the AI separation version. But what I'll do is I might, if you put in a comment below, and I could maybe do a different video on that separately and dedicated to that on its own, because it's a bit of a tutorial on its own. Okay, so number three is Acapellas for You. It's the claim to be the original Acapellas website for DJs, and to be fair, it has a vast range of acapellas that you can get hold of, from very popular dance songs, etc., like hip-hop beats as well, stuff like that. So it's really good for downloading those tracks. And yeah, I think it's well known in the industry. If you don't know it, now you know. Acapellas for You. I'll put the link in the description as well for all of these points. So the next point is number four, which is Splice. So Splice is a modern looking website. I really like it. It does offer lots of different music production things as well, but the main point of this is that you can get some vocal stabs, not necessarily like full on popular dance music sort of acapellas like you can do on Acapellas for You, which is slightly different. But if you've got a DJ controller like this and then you want to play around with some vocal samples in your DJ sets, you can certainly get hold of these sort of packs that you can, vocal packs, and they're different stabs. They are probably better off for music producers, but then you can still use them in your DJ sets and vary it up a bit. And also, just to finish up with that point, is that if you're into making mashups, so you're getting the original instrumental of a track and then putting over some samples, you've got your own sort of like re-edit, remix sort of thing. So that's another aspect. It's just a little tip for you there. The number five is record labels. So record labels probably is not going to be your first port of call, but if you like a specific track, maybe like an older school track that isn't so popular, maybe even an underground track as well, like a garage or an old school house track, contact the label and just ask. You can only ask and see if they can give you the stem for the actual a cappella itself. And then, yeah, you may or may not have to pay for it. It depends what you're doing with it when you're DJing it out, or whether you're actually making use of it in a music production. Okay, so number 6 is record vinyl albums. So this is probably the least common that you might stumble across, but it's worth mentioning anyway, because you may have a lot of record vinyls in your house, or you may still like going shopping for vinyls. But either way, it seems that record albums like historically put out quite a lot of their tracks and instrumentals and a cappellas in there. So you could potentially stumble across a cappella from an old band, say like Led Zeppelin for example, but you could still use that to then make mashups in your DJ sets when you're mixing, especially like, I don't know, at a student union for example, or at a wedding. It would be pretty cool. So you've got like a modern dance track like Calvin Harris instrumental with like Led Zeppelin, that would just be mad. But anyway, so yeah, they're my 6 tips, or where you can get started to start looking for a cappellas. I've got an article on beatmatchguru.com, which I'll put the link in the description as well, so feel free to read all of that. There's actually got more information than these 6 tips. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It'd really help me out, much appreciated. And yeah, get a cappella mixing. See you next time.